Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Dr. Patricia Kolodnicki for St. Joseph's College, talking today about engaging lessons, specifically focused on edTPA, but also in general, math lessons being more engaging. Welcome. Here we go. So some lesson considerations. There's a few bullet points that I'm going to talk about in possibly taking your lesson and amping it up a notch, creating it in a way and changing it in a way so that it's a little more engaging. So one consideration, you may want to create an open task that will encourage multiple methods, pathways, or representations. So for example, if you're extending from a previous day's topic, you may want to give a student a question that maybe has just some new content, but not all new content, and have them work in groups. Based on research, and this is the research of Dr. Peter Lildahl, the most engaging way to do that is standing, using whiteboards or whiteboard sheets, VNPS, which is vertical non-permanent surfaces, which are what whiteboards are or what these white book sheets are, and visually random groups. Again, another strategy you may want to do some further research on. Again, creating opportunities for students to use visuals, to do it in a different way, maybe to do some not so, not so specific strategies, but maybe some more open-ended strategies to learn something new or to do something new. Can you make it an inquiry task? So this is a really simple example, but instead of just saying, hey, can you find the area of a rectangle for a 6x4 rectangle, ask them how many rectangles can you find that has an area of 24, right? So think about that. Write an expression. Ooh, I hid this one. Sorry, I'll squish it out. Write an expression that's equivalent to 5x minus 9. It provides multiple opportunities and multiple answers. Write an equation whose solution is -6. Draw a figure whose area is easy to find, maybe on a graph. Right? So consider all of these different things, making it an inquiry task, making it more open-ended. Another strategy, group work. Consider a cooperative group activity. Now this is different from typical group work because in a cooperative group, each student has a specific task or job to complete. In my specific class, when we're working on like white book pages or whiteboards, the student with the marker cannot speak and must be told what to write by their partner or group mate. And at certain times during their group work, I will ask them to switch who has the marker, and again, just encouraging students to take on different roles. So not one student is dominating the conversation and giving all of the input. Can you add a visual component to your lesson? So consider using digital or hands-on manipulatives to maybe support a concept that the students may need help visualizing. For some higher level math, this can include Desmos, and again, Desmos can be used anywhere from middle school and even like late elementary school and up. Geometer Sketchpad's another one, or even just having a group of students and with each one graphing something different on their graphing calculator. Maybe you're looking for patterns of shifts, right? And they're trying to see the pattern and what in the equation causes what kind of shift in your graph, in your parabola, for example. Can you make it what we call low floor, high ceiling questions? So this concept really comes from Jo Boaler. She's a professor at Stanford University. Dr. Jo Boaler's work is pretty extensive, and if you haven't seen it, I would check out the book Mathematical Mindsets. So any question where basically any student can start working on it, and then questions the same types of questions that can be extended to higher levels. So looking at this example on the left, can you see a pattern? Now, some students and even early elementary students can say, oh, there's more blocks. Oh, good, so you see an increase in blocks. Good. Other students may say, oh, it's increasing by X number of blocks, and then they might see more specific patterns. A student who on a higher level might be able to decide and figure out the pattern, be able to figure out that 100th case or the nth case and be able to translate that rule into an algebraic expression. Over here on the right, two parallel lines cut by a transversal. Use color to identify the congruent angles. Identify vertical and supplementary angles. Use color and write as many relationships as you can. So again, some students may only be able to get the vertical angles, and that's okay. Some students may be able to see some supplementary angles, but not all supplementary angles. And then again, the relationships here. Again, all students should be able to at least start it, and then more and more students can possibly extend it to higher levels. And then finally, can you include a requirement to convince and reason? Another component of math discourse which allows for reasoning. Can you convince yourself? Can you make a conjecture and try to convince other students using your drawings, or color coding, and what have you? One final one that I did not mention, which I'm going to add right now, is error analysis questions. These are great and super engaging. What you're going to do is you're going to take maybe problems that you would have normally had students do. You're going to do them, but you're going to make some errors. And specifically, you're going to make probably the most common errors, either ones that you know of or the ones that your cooperating teacher will say, oh, these are the types of mistakes my students always make. You're going to make different types of mistakes in each question, and you're going to have students walk around and try to figure out what the mistakes are, and be able to explain the mistake, maybe give a tip as to how they can improve. Again, that's that higher level problem solving types questions when you're talking about your CPP, conceptual understanding, procedural fluency, problem solving. That's the types of activities that are really engaging for students. They love looking at other people's work and trying to figure out what's wrong. I hope this helped. Again, just some tips about engaging lessons and how to maybe think about your lesson in a little bit of a different way to make it more engaging for your students.